Witness me, smegma crazies, and welcome back to Mad Max.
We've heard of your doings, walking man. So hear me. Down there is the Dredgers. Lord Scrotus lands. Controls the bridges, road, and even a bunker. Good way to ruin that undead scrotum's day would be to rid us all of the tanks there. Bring them down with a lever like. Stop all gas down traffic round here. Watch the containers for other ways in.
So we're getting ready to take on our last 3 or 4 camps, I think, for this map, or for this area. And I actually think this one's kind of interesting because you're not actually, assuming I'm thinking of the right one, there's actually a path right through the center, and you don't actually have to go through either main gate. It's both the camps are interconnected. It's kind of neat. It's a little unique. Yeah, because just on the side of, as soon as I take out this, there we go. Another one of these, right in the middle here, at least one of these can be, yeah, that storage tank, storage container, yeah, can just be pulled open. Now you have access. And you even get free access to a masher in here. Fine. I do have to confess, and I apologize for it. Maybe it's been a while since I did an LP, but trying to keep up with this schedule and a lot of this, honestly, it's kind of boring to commentate for me. I wish I could do more to make this feel entertaining, but I feel like it's not. So I have a question for all the wonderful folks who watch these videos. Should I continue on showing off every one of these camps? Because, I mean, there's still plenty of camps to go. We've only done all the camps in 1 out of 3 sections. There's still quite a bit more to do. I can continue doing all of these camps, or, I mean, I'll do the camps anyway. Instead of constantly showing the camps, I can stick to showing things that are entertaining. I'm recording it all anyway. Yeah, sometimes things like that happen and I can't predict them. But the camps tend to get pretty samey. So I have to ask if, you know... Oh yeah, here's something else. Sometimes you find like these little wasteland critters like rats or lizards. If you catch them and step on them, you actually get a free heal up. It's neat. It doesn't come up very much, but it's a thing. But yeah, these camps aren't going to get too much more entertaining. I'll definitely, you know, keep on for, you know, the full story stuff. And anything interesting that comes up, I'll still show off, but it would mean these videos are going to become a lot more truncated. You've essentially seen the core gameplay loop of Mad Max. It doesn't change much. I got a little confused here, because normally when you break out the, normally when you break something open, you use the Jimmy bar, and you don't break it open, so... Surprise to me. Anyway, I'll still definitely find time to go over the other movies, likely with somebody else, just because, you know, it's interesting to have other takes on different things that happen through the movies. But I would like, you know, a little feedback on, should I continue showing off every single one of these camps, because frankly, it's hard to commentate. Or just do my best. You know, try and show off the game in a positive light, which, honestly, it's not bad to play. The thing is, it's just the core gameplay loop gets really repetitive. It's always satisfying. It just doesn't change. Go through an area, beat up a dude, smack him in the face with a masher, possibly stab him or shoot him, and then maybe once in a while you get an upgrade. I mean, there's still a few things that I'm going to at least show off in Fuel once I get to the point of feeling confident in taking out convoys. I'll definitely show off a few of those. But even those kind of fall into the same trick of they're really repetitive. You've taken out... Once you take out one convoy, you've pretty much taken them all out. The only difference is maybe how much armor do you get to deal with. But of course, there's a tool later on that makes armor much less of a problem. So yeah, as always, you know, thanks for watching everything, and if I'm horribly boring, then I apologize, but, you know, I'd like to make this flow a little better. Frankly, another game I've had myself completely distracted by for the last couple of weeks is Fists of the North Star Lost Paradise, which is essentially a Yakuza game, but in Fists of the North Star universe. And man, it has made me particularly, it's made me really miss playing God Hand, which I'm probably gonna have to also go back and play, but, you know. One of the benefits of taking that entrance to the camp as compared to most other entrances, you just get to have a good look at the war crier and just kind of set everything on, and kind of explode everything before he has a chance to do much. But yeah, there's still plenty of stuff to see in the game, and honestly, I still don't know what I'm gonna do about. You've seen how to find different pieces for different strongholds. If you wanted to pursue this game yourself, honestly, I would recommend that, just because it would give you, if you are one of those completionist types, there is so much to do in this game, but it's not exactly thrilling to watch. It hasn't hit the point of being a chore, but, you know, I hesitate to be able to say that I'll be able to keep up an informed level of commentary for however many more hours we're going to look at. Of course, one benefit to coming in the main way on this map is getting access to those Thunderpoons. Although, this guy just kind of came out of one of the storage containers. Like, he didn't want to pop out with everybody else, I guess. Though one of the neat things about him popping out there is you may not have had a chance to fight the War Crier by that point, or to take down the War Crier. If you've ever been wondering, oh man, would he, you know, start getting more pissed off if somebody else comes up, that guy will exactly show it off for you. As soon as that guy shows up, the War Crier launches straight back into doom and gloom and kill the Wastelander. Well, that's disappointing. That's a well-made fence. I wasn't exactly sure if that explosion was going to reach far enough for the transfer tank, but it did not. Though I am kind of happy that I'm taking the damage, because this gives me a chance to get some more of the, get some more maggot meal, which of course is another challenge for more Griffa tokens. I really don't plan on doing all the challenges, but I mean, I don't plan on doing a lot of things before I actually do them, so we'll see how that goes. I have no idea why Chumbucket's commenting on it from, like, 2 flights up, but, you know, whatever. I guess maybe it's more of, like, in a radius from the car, and maybe we were directly underneath the car. It's complicated. You might recognize this as the area we came in.
You and me and her.
You might not.
She four wheels of righteous fury on this earth.
But as we've kicked down that ladder, now we finally have access to some of these some of these areas we came in from. So the way I kind of went around is not the only way to get in, but it was one of the more, efficient ways. Just because having access to these back areas got me superior access to some of the enemies inside to get a better vantage on them. But all in all, not necessary. Appreciated, but not necessary. I thought I blew up those gas tanks when I had that first chain explosion that knocked me for a loop, but apparently not. The eagle-eyed among you may have already noticed a spot where I missed some scrap, but honestly at this point I'm just I just assume I'm gonna come back here later. Off camera. Because sitting around searching around for scrap, also a valuable part of playing the game of Mad Max. Sometimes you find the stuff you're looking for, and sometimes you just kind of run around like a headless chicken for a while. It's very complicated. But it's not one of those things where appreciating the Wasteland and all of its glory, probably better off for experiencing yourself, just because of the different things you can see and the different things you can do. The core gameplay is effective. It's an Arkham-style game, so you have that sort of combat. This is where I finally figured out photo mode, and man, look at that mess. You don't really get to see a whole lot in there, but man, it's shiny as hell. I appreciate it.
Oh, my hands! That was close! Be more careful next time, I beg of you!
And of course, with a new level for us, or a new Wasteland rank, we can of course go and visit Griffa to see what he has to tell us about our pursuit of the Plains of Silence.
I'll keep an eye on her.
Tell me about the ones you leave dead by the road. All the lives choked out.
Not my choice to kill.
You seem to enjoy it.
Never.
You don't fear killing because you think you control it. You tell yourself such. Blood is not on your hands, but on theirs. Perhaps it's not the killing you enjoy, but the moments of silence the fighting brings you.
Personally, I find Griffa's takes on Max pretty interesting just because of what they kind of imply about Max's background or where he's gone or what he's done. It's what I think is the most interesting part of the game, honestly, is just seeing how Max has developed as a person, you might say, in the aftermath of everything that's happened to him. Yeah, why not? We'll go with Old Man Max. Now he looks extra mad. But yeah, one of the things I appreciate about the game is just what it does add to the lore of Max that the movies have not. It's you spend a lot more time with Max, obviously, and you get more time to play as him, but the addition of Griffa doing his thing does give you more of a insight into character. You know, you see some of it, and obviously you see most of it in Mad Max 1. Mad Max 2 and 3, he's kind of going along and doing his thing, and he's very competent about it. But it doesn't really delve too much into the character. The only other movie I can think of that really does delve into character is Mad Max Fury Road. But even, honestly, despite Mad Max being in the title, a lot of the movie doesn't necessarily seem to be about Mad Max, if that makes sense.
I gotta get into that camp.
Bidding us welcome.
So, I wanted to shoot the red barrel, because there's yet another achievement for shooting the barrel on a moving car, but there's also one for shooting off tires, so I'll take what I can get.
When I spied you racing so deftly in the long-lookers, oh, I knew you were special. So savages.
So yeah, as far as more judicious editing of videos, at least the next video will still be in this style, and then from then on, well, we'll see where life takes us. For now, we've got more crap to blow up. Minefield here, which is never fun for anybody. Actually, I don't think there's a single thing in this game that minefields serve to improve. I mean, I guess you spend more time defusing minefields, but no, there's hardly anything that taking care of minefields improves in this game. It is some of the worst content padding in a game that is already extremely content padded.
There's gotta be a weakness.
You think I may be joking about minefields, but wait until we actually go out and defuse them. It's an experience that I will show off exactly once and probably never again. The very first time they had us do it with the dog is only part of the pain, really. The dog does kind of sniff out minefields, but not very well. And the only other way to find minefields is by driving into them. And hitting one mine will, of course, immediately bring the magnum opus down to critical health, where you'll have to jump out and then possibly step on another mine. I mean, if you're looking for upsides on the whole thing, you have a chance to, you have a better chance of maybe bringing enemies into a minefield, but overall I'm not too impressed with the content.
But just go. I need to holler some hard-to-get parts.
This really seems like an area where there would have been a corner or something that you could go into, but that does not seem like it's the case. This entire just side of the camp is oddly open, empty, I guess. It really feels like somewhere where they would have rewarded the player for, you know, looking around and trying to find an alternate way into the camp, but not so much. Feels like a missed opportunity, is what I'm saying. An interesting question for fans of both Mad Max and The Watchmen. Who kills the roadkill? Or it could not be a very interesting question at all. There's options. Yeah, for some reason there's an entire backside of this camp which I did not get anywhere close to. There's an entire another gate. I guess that there's two ways of approaching this intersection. Once you're inside, there's not really a reason to drag it down, but, you know, I'm here. Why not? You can't really see it far out for where it is, but there is a type of roadkill vehicle called the Boom Bug. Essentially, it's a suicide car. They don't have any nitro, but they are laden with explosives. And if you're clever, you can capture one before it goes off, and you can take it back to your to a stronghold to add it to your collection. And of course, there's a challenge for destroying things with the Boom Bug. Rather than having a nitro button, it has a self-destruct button, at which point you press the boost button, and about 5 seconds later, it explodes. It's generally recommended that you are not inside of it once it is exploding. It's usually bad for the health. Max would appreciate your cooperation in this matter. The Boom Bug is pretty fun, though. And see, this is what I was talking about. You kind of feel like there should be an alternate way around. There is a way for this side of the camp, but not the other one. It's just kind of weird. Anyway, yeah, please don't blow up Max. He's a nice boy.
Someone heal this own white swag. Get out of here! Our dominion is still shit lizard!
So now that we've upgraded Max some, we actually have the ability to steal shivs that are being used to attack us. You can see it's a little bit bugged out because for some reason Max is still holding the shiv while doing combat. But if I get, at this point, if I get a perfect parry, I can actually disarm and use it against the person who used it against me, and then just add that to my collection. Eventually, and I believe I've just recently got this upgrade for melee weapons, you can make it so that even on a normal parry, you can disarm them and take it from them. Which leaves them pretty much immediately susceptible to a ground melee execution, or a fury execution. There's options. As Max continues his adventures through the Wasteland, he does become kind of a one-man force of nature. He becomes pretty dangerous, which, you know, surprise. But some of the skills you get are pretty darn good. I'm surprised that guy didn't come out and investigate from everything else he was hearing, but you know what? I'm not gonna look a dead warp up in the mouth. This area down here seems awfully empty, but I will come back and discover its secrets eventually. Just, you know, not right now. In fact, just looking around very shortly, you may have noticed the conspicuous color yellow, which I did not notice on my first time through. I do find eventually. You know, if nothing else about them really works out in their favor, I get the feeling the war criers, I feel like they really enjoy their jobs. Like, I feel like, aside from the explosive death portion, I feel like they get a really high rate of job satisfaction.
That'd be the first place I'd look.
I mean, perhaps a good example of a war crier would probably be the Doof Warrior from Mad Max Fury Road. That's his actual name, by the way, Doof Warrior. He's recognizable as the guitar player with the flaming guitar.
It was just a spur of the moment thing.
But yeah, again, he seems like he really enjoys his job. All he has to do is play out some music and, you know, get everybody pumped up. Kinda wish that was my job. It seems like it would probably be difficult to climb up or down a ladder while carrying a jerry can, but Max actually does that very easily. I mean, having only 3 points of contact on a ladder, total, is definitely not something that I'm ever fond of doing, but, you know, Max has come this way a lot farther than I have, so I'll leave it to his expertise. So with that, we finally brought the threat level for the region down far enough that I'm happy with moving on. Like I said, getting some of the harpoon upgrades is definitely some of the larger stuff that I wanted to get done, and it's gotten done. Having a higher level harpoon from the get-go makes a lot of what it comes after very easy, especially if you plan to hunt down scarecrows and pull them down. Not having to dive out to find explosive makes that so much easier. But yeah, from here on, we're actually going to make progress next video. I mean, I'm still going to do a top dog camp because every region has 2 top dogs to take out, and getting those top dogs down means we can, you know, paint our magnum opus very, you know, even prettier. But for now, it just means, well, just a little bit more smack in the face. But next video, we'll actually encounter a new face. Go to a new stronghold. We'll see new people. Oh my gosh, it'll be amazing. And finally, Chum will stop hectoring us about the Jack. I could even make story progress, you guys. Holy cow. It's going to be a while before we come back to Jeet's territory to try and wipe out all of the threat. Hopefully a long while, because, man, that just takes a long time, and again, it's one of those clip show things. But for now, aside from getting an upgrade, that's going to do it for me. Until next time, stay thirsty.